I was born and raised in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I started practicing martial art when I was 8 years old. I started practicing with my uncle. He used to have friends that he used to train with. He was drafted into a military, Ethiopian military, so he had to leave. And once he was gone, I was just left by myself to study from TV, movies, books, and friends that studied martial arts outside of the country. It wasn't legal to have a school to train people because it was a communist country. When I was 15 years old, I had to move to the States because at the time there was a civil war going on, and once you're of age and you look like you can carry the gun, they came and picked you up and they drafted you. So my parents were really worried about being drafted, so they sent us to my aunt in San Francisco. So I didn't know much about Kung Fu, so I started out with Taekwondo. Taekwondo had a lot of kicks, and I studied that for a couple of years while I was in San Francisco. So everything that I watched on a movie, I would go outside and practice it. That was my first encounter with Kung Fu. Movies that inspired me as growing up was Bruce Lee's movies, Jet Li's Shaolin Temple, and Jackie Chan's Drunken Master. Me and my brother moved to Phoenix, Arizona after 2 years of staying in San Francisco, so I had to stop practicing Taekwondo. I started doing some boxing, kickboxing, whatever I can find around the area, and did that, finished high school there. And for the last time when my mother came to Miami, we finally all reunited and moved to Miami. At that point, I started my Kung Fu training at Kung Fu Connection was my first school that I went to. I stayed there for 10 years, and it was a pretty commercial school. I just saw the monkey style, praying mantis, different types of animal forms. So it just brought back memories of all the stuff that I watched in the movies. And now, having studied Taekwondo, I realized the importance of having to study the Kung Fu because it had so much to offer. It had weapons. It was the most complete art. I started studying internal arts, Tai Chi, Xingyi, Bagua, in Cheng's Kung Fu school for the next 3 years. I realized in the States, it's a different culture. Everything that we have here is completely different than the way it's supposed to be done as far as traditional Kung Fu. And then once I realized that, I started looking outside of the country, and I met my teacher, Grandmaster Chen Yun-Chen from Taiwan, who was the son of Chen Panling. It was a great honor, and we just really hit it off as a student and teacher, and I had total respect for him, and he respected me as a student, and he was very genuine to me. He picked about 18 people all over the world, from Europe, from Australia, from America, South America, North America, we all gathered in Taiwan and had a bashi ceremony, which was an indoor discipleship ceremony to spread his father's art. So from Chen Panling, Chen Yun Chin, and then myself, and the others that were picked also. It's as complete and as pure as it can get. To have a true master that was brought up in China from that type of generation, that was passed down from thousands of years back, it is a priceless form of art to receive. And I'm honored to be part of the family with Chen Panling family, which I became an indoor student of. An indoor student means that you represent the teacher and you get the most complete teaching from your teacher. And I also found a genuine teacher in Miami, Master Waylon Hung, who's also an internal art. He teaches at the park or private classes. These two masters are really rare for traditional martial arts. Not that there are not a lot of teachers out there or a lot of masters with skills, but to have a genuine master with a genuine development of the art, which was refinement of character. So traditional Kung Fu for me is a way of life. Growing up in Ethiopia, that's what drew me to Chinese Kung Fu or Asian martial arts, is the discipline and the respect you have to have for your teacher, your neighbor, your parents. All of them were out to discipline you, where if one missed it, the next person saw it, and everybody was an auditor for your pride and ego, and to make sure that you respected your elders, you respected your teachers, you respected your parents, and you did what you were supposed to do. And all these things were the idea of the village raised the child. And it was never one individual or one school or a parent. It was everybody together that allowed the child to develop well. Your Sifu in Chinese means a teacher or a father. I found traditional Kung Fu to be the most complete system, especially Chinese martial arts, simply because it was the grandfather to all the different martial arts that's out there today. Because this is a 5,000-year-old art that we don't have to do anything different to. It's already been done. They've discovered everything. This is the time where they used it for survival, and their body and their mind was their technology. Today in the modern world, we can use the same art, and these art are wonderful tools to discover yourself, whether it's psychological or physical or spiritual. They cover all aspects. They've understood what it means to be a human being for thousands of years. They've done thousands of years of research to get the body strong and to keep the mind, body, and spirit balanced and well. And that's what we have at Addis Kung Fu. We teach Tai Chi, Xingyi, Bagua, and Shaolin, which Shaolin is the main system that came from Shaolin Temple. And Tai Chi, Xingyi, and Bagua also are systems that came afterwards. They're all Chinese-based, and some of them are Taoist practice, some of them are Buddhist practice. But if you take away the religious part of it, it's just mind, body, and spirit or energy work. This complete system is very rare and very important for every human being to have in their life that have to deal with stress, have to deal with work, have to deal with family. It's been a great experience to work with people, different age groups from 6 years old to 70-year-olds, and to have all these different people come through the class and in 5 years see them completely transform themselves to becoming a completely different person, mind, body, and spirit. And it really is the most rewarding thing that I find about this traditional martial arts or being an instructor. So today, at Addis Kung Fu, the purpose is to preserve these arts that were traditionally taught, that were passed down from 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, exactly the way it was, to maintain the art as pure and as complete as possible. As instructors in Addis Kung Fu, we are not there to judge anybody. Anybody that comes and trains is treated equally, but equally different, because we mirror exactly what they bring. If they have wrong movements, we mirror the movements back to correct it, lead them in the right direction. If it's the pride and ego that needs to be mirrored, that is mirrored, because the complete teaching of mind, body, and spirit cannot be attained with just fixing the forms and telling everybody, okay, you did a good job, and keep going. And this was not the way it was done traditionally, so we emphasize on keeping the student and teacher relationship and having the respect just the way I was brought up in Ethiopia and the way it was taught in China. What we have today truly does not represent what this arts can do. And you might find one or two teachers that truly represent this art. And if you find them, make sure you take care of them, because they're very rare. And I was lucky enough to have two of those teachers, Grandmaster Chen Yun Chin and Master Wei Lin Hung. And I am so grateful to have both of them in my life, and for them to teach as sincere as they teach me. I credit everything that I have to them. Because if it wasn't for teachers like that to come and spread their art, we wouldn't have this great art today that everybody's benefiting from, like yoga, Tai Chi, now becoming very popular in the mainstream. And my dream is to see that, and hopefully people will understand how great and how deep these arts are, so people can spend the proper time and take care of the teachers that bring these systems and these arts to us.